Good day, everyone. I'm the first supporter of Unit 7. My name is Shalami Higpit. So this is my report. So executive development. So executive development is a human resource management have observed a rapid growth in executive development, which focus on training executive. So like any physical assets recorded on organization financial statements, people understand that a competent management team is essential to the organization's survival. So the lack of managers with the necessary training is one factor contributing to the growth interest in management development. So let us now understand what executive development or management development is. So executive development or management development is a systematic process of learning and growth by which managerial personnel gain and apply knowledge, skills, attitudes, and insight to management to manage the work in their organization effectively and efficiency. So, executive development is like a step-by-step way to bosses to learn and improve. They pick up new skills and ideas to do their job better. So, it's all about making sure they can manage their work well. Executive Development Program or EDP. So, is one such program with human resource making a move from a welfare department of a strategic partner. More and more companies are undertaking this program. We at Career Solution provide you an opportunity of developing a specific EDP for your company. So this means that the Executive Development Program is a specific initiative of human resources designed to enhance the skills and capabilities of executive managers, leaders. So this signifies a broader trend in business recognizing the strategic importance of investing executive development program as a crucial means to foster leadership's excellence and drive overall organizational success. So, there are 4 major steps to cover during the EDP. So, let's discuss first the problem assessment. So, problem assessment, the expert along with the concerned employees and CEO shall begin with an assessment of the company's current problem and owner's plans of the future. So, in problem assessment, the collaboration of expert employees and the CEO is crucial as they collectively analyze the company's current challenges and the owner's visions for the future. So, laying the foundation for strategic decision-making and problem-solving initiatives. So this process ensures a comprehensive understanding of the situation, enabling the formulation of the effective solution aligned with the company's objectives and long-term goals. So next is management, audit, and appraisal. So there shall be regular feedback session to check as to whether we are reaching where we are supposed to reach. So it emphasizes the importance of incorporating regular feedback sessions into management audit and appraisal process. So the purpose is to assess progress and ensure alignment with organizational goals. So underscoring the need for continuous evaluation to guarantee that the management strategies are effectively guiding the organization toward its intended objectives. So next is process. So process is stage 1 to 3. So in stage 1, so makita sa graph is there are 3 key elements that are considered as competitive advantage, organizational strategy, and organizational objectives. So to stay ahead and in the highly competitive world of today, so business must adapt and develop all the time. So it is imperative that firm provide their managers with the necessary training to enable them to effectively navigate and lead in this novel settings. So this continuous training aids manager in adjusting to the dynamic corporate environment. So in stage 2, this stage is the most important and crucial phase of the executive development process, as it deals with the with analysis on the competency mapping, identification of competency gap, and also career planning. So understanding the talents and abilities of every employee in the company, including the management team, is the main goal of the competency stage. So this aids in determining the strengths of each person. So it's like discovering each employee's assets and capabilities. So we examine the organization's needs and areas of talent gaps in the second step. So in the third stage is we concentrate on determining verifying the needs of the business. So how people may develop and how executive can plan their career path. So by doing this is ensured that everyone is headed in their direction. The program of executive development aims at achieving following purposes. First is to sustain good performance of managers throughout their careers by exploiting their full potential. So the executive development program focuses on helping managers maintain strong performance through their careers via unlocking and utilizing their full capabilities. Next is to understand economic, technical, and institutional forces in order to solve business problems. So it aims to equip participants with the skills to comprehend economic, technical, and institutional influences, so enabling them to effectively address business challenges. So the third one is to acquire knowledge about problems of human resources. So there is the program strive to provide knowledge and insight into human resources issues, so helping participants better understand and navigate the complexity of managing people within organization. So next is to think through problems this may comfort the organization now or in the future. So participants are encouraged to critically analyze and think through current and potential future challenges that may arise within the organization. To develop responsibility leaders. So the overarching goal is to foster the development of responsible leaders who can navigate and lead effectively in various situations. Analysis of development leads. So here the problem that has been uncovered shall be tried to and remedied via development program. So it emphasizes the identification of uncovered problems or deficiencies within an organization. So the subsequent steps involves addressing rectifying these issues through the implementation of a targeted development program. So instilling a proactive approach to organizational improvement based on a true assessment of identified challenges. So last is identify replacement needs. So the assessment may uncover a need to recruitment and select new management talent. The format of EDP will vary with company size and nature of operation so as to provide optimum results. So it emphasizes that the identification of replacement needs during executive development programs may necessitate the recruitment and selection of new managerial talent. It also underscores that the structure and content of executive development programs or EDP shall be tailored to the specific characteristic of a company. So considering its size and operational nature to ensure the best possible outcomes in cultivating and preparing future leaders. To inculcate knowledge of human motivation and human relationships. So this is it seeks to instill an understanding of human motivation and relationship, providing a foundation of effective leaderships and collaboration. So lastly is to increase proficiency in management techniques such as work, study, inventory control, operation, research, and quality control. So the program aims to enhance proficiency in essential management techniques, so including work studies, inventory control, operation research, and quality control to ensure well-rounded and skilled leadership or skilled leaders. So, according to Johnson and Sorcher-Ward, so management development focuses on developing in systematic manner and the knowledge-based attitudes, basic skills, interpersonal skills, and technical skills of managerial cadre. So it emphasizes the management development is a structured process aimed at enhancing the comprehensive skill set of individual and managerial roles. So this includes systematically cultivating their knowledge base and shaping positive attitudes, refining essential skills, fostering effective professional abilities, and honing technical proficiencies. So the overarching goals is to equip managers with a well-rounded set of competency, ensuring their ability to navigate the complexities of leadership and contribute effectively to organizational success. So, there are also characteristics of executive development, which are: executive development is a planned and organized process of learning. So, the characteristic of executive development being planned and organized process of learning underscores the importance of structured programs and intentional activities designed to enhance the skills, knowledge, and abilities of executive, ensuring systematic approach to their professional growth. So, next is, it is an ongoing and never-ending exercise. The aspect of executive development being an ongoing and a never-ending exercise, it emphasizes the continuous nature of learning of executives, acknowledging the need for adoption and skills refinement throughout their careers to effectively navigate evolving business landscapes. So next is, executive development is a long-term process as managerial skills cannot be developed overnight. So the long-term of nature of executive development is highlighted by the recognition that managerial skills integral to effect relationships or leaderships requires sustained improvement can occur hastily. So emphasizing the importance of patience and dedication in the process. So lastly is it aims at preparing managers for managers. So the goal of preparing managers for managers underscores the forward-looking nature of executive development, focusing not only on immediate skills enhancement but also on cultivating a pipeline of capable leaders to ensure the organization's sustained success in the long run. Analysis of development needs. So, here the problem that has been uncovered shall be tried to and remedied via development program. So it emphasizes the identification of uncovered problems or deficiencies within an organization. So the subsequent steps involves addressing rectifying these issues through the implementation of a targeted development program. So instilling a proactive approach to organizational improvement based on a true assessment of identified challenges. So last is identify replacement needs. So the assessment may uncover a need to recruitment and select new management talent. The format of EDP will vary with company's size and nature of operation so as to provide optimum results. So it emphasizes that the identification of replacement needs during executive development programs may necessitate the recruitment and selection of new managerial talent. It also underscores that the structure and content of executive development programs or EDP shall be tailored to the specific characteristic of a company. So considering its size and operational nature to ensure the best possible outcomes in cultivating and preparing future leaders. Importance and factors influencing executive development. So let's move on to the importance of executive development. So executive development is important for the following reasons. So first is executive development programs are required to train and develop professional managers. So executive development programs are crucial for cultivating the skills and knowledge essential for professional managers. So ensuring they are well equipped to handle the dynamic and evolving challenges of their roles. So second is it helps managers to develop skills to face cutthroat competitions. So in a firstly competitive business environment, executive development becomes paramount as it improves managers with the necessary skills and strategies to navigate and excel amidst cutthroat competitions, fostering organizational reliance and success. So next is enables managers to face problems related to technology and institution. So as technology and institutional landscapes rapidly involve executive development and instrumental in equipping managers associated with these changes, so promoting organizational adaptability and innovation. So next is it helps in developing better relations with the laborers. So this means the significance of executive development extend to fostering improved labor relations. So as trained executives are better equipped to understand and manage the of human interactions within the workplace, ultimately contributing to a more harmonious and productive work environment. So, next is executive need training and education to understand and adjust to change in social economic changes. So, there is, with socioeconomic change being a constant in today's world. So, executive development plays a pivotal role in providing manager with the education and training necessary to comprehend and adaptively respond to this change, ensuring the organization's stability and growth. So last is executive development is required to broaden the outlook of managers. So this means executive development is indispensable in broadening the outlook of managers, allowing them to gain a more comprehensive understanding of the business landscape. So they diverse perspective and global trends, thereby enhancing their decision-making capabilities and overall leadership effectiveness. So there are also factors that influence the executive development process in organization. So first is failure to train the managers will lead to ineffective and inefficient managers who negatively affect the organization performance. So neglecting managerial training result in the formation of ineffective and inefficient managers. So it can cause a detrimental impact on the overall performance of the organization. So proper training ensure manager possess the skills and knowledge needed to contribute positively to organizational success. So next is, in the absence of training and development avenues, the performing manager may get demotivated and frustrated in leading the organization. So there is, without adequate training and developmental opportunities, so performing manager may become demotivated and frustrated in their leadership role, so potentially resulting in significant organizational losses, both financially and operationally, due to the expenses associated with recruiting the training replacements. So next is, the organizational performance may be affected by the loss of market shares, lower sales, reduced profitability, and so there is the losses of market shares, lower sales, and reduced profitability can significantly impact organizational performance, acting as key indicators of potential challenges and areas requiring strategic attention to sustain and enhance the overall health of the business. So addressing these issues become imperative for maintaining a robust of successful organizational trajectory. So next is, so ako na lang i-explain ang fourth. So ang fourth is there is the need for training and skills manager is crucial for companies. So it is important for them to have good ways to keep these managers around. So para ang organization use training and development, one of the ways make sure skills manager will stay to them. So fifth is, the competitive pressure make it necessarily for organization to continuously roll out new product and services and also maintain the quality of the existing ones. So there is, to keep To keep up with competitions, companies need to regularly introduce new products and maintain the quality of existing ones. So training managers helps them gain skills need to handle these challenges and also excel in creating and maintaining high quality products and services. So lastly is the competitive environment is making it imperative for the organization to continuously restructure and re-engineer. So in today's competitive world, so organization need to constantly change and improve. To do this, so it's crucial for them to train the managers so they can handle new solution effectively. So lastly is stage 3. In the beginning of this stage, the focus is on figuring out what training each person and all employees need, and this is called the training need assessment. So using this information, a plan called the Annual Training Plan or ATP is created to outline the training activities for the year. So based on the annual training plan, so employees are chosen of various training programs offered by the companies or by outside organization. So during the conduct of training, so the personnel department and training facilitator must consider factors such as the number of executive expenses, outsourcing, and the availability of technical competency within the firm when determining where and what kind of training to deliver. So this make it easier to guarantee that staff have well throughout training opportunities. So that the review of training activities is it's critical to plan training for all staff members. So both in internal and external to the business, in order to improve it. This combination of external and internal training facilities successful training and skills development for all. So it guarantees that every workers gains the skills and knowledge necessary to support the expansion of the company.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Juan Carlos Gallardo. I am the second reporter of Unit 7 Human Resources. Stage 2. This is the most important and crucial phase of executive development process. This stage deals analysis on the competency mapping, identification of competency gap, and career planning. In the competency stage, which helps to capture the competencies of all the employees of the organization, which includes the capacities of the management also. In the second stage, the organizational recruitment requirements and competency gap to be analyzed. In the third phase, this deals with identifying and verifying the organizational needs, individual growth, and along with career planning of the executives. Stage 3. This stage is consisting of 3 levels. The first level of this stage deals with the activities involving training need assessment of individuals and of all employees based on which annual training plan is drawn. Based on the annual training plan, the employees are chosen to expose to their corporate training program. For internal training programs and external organization, while deciding the venue of types of nature and when training program, the personnel department of the training facilitator should consider the various issues like no executive cost, outsourcing, and availability of technical expertise in the organization. In this case of organizational development related exercise, the combination of internal and external training programs should be arranged for all the employee and of the organization. The process of executive development is as follows. 1. Analysis of development needs. First of all, the present and failure development needs of the organization are ascertained. It is necessary to determine how many and what type of executive are required to meet the present and future needs of the enterprise. Number 2, appraisal of the present managerial talent. A qualitative assessment of the existing executive is made to determine the type of executive talent available within the organization. Number 3, planning individual development programs. Each one of us has a unique set of physical, intellectual, and emotional characteristics. Therefore, development plans should be tailor-made for each individual. Number 4, establishing training and development program. The HR department prepares comprehensive and well-conceived programs. Number 5, evaluating development programs. Considerable money, time, and efforts are spent on executive development programs. It, it is therefore natural to find out to what extent the program's objective has been achieved. The various techniques of executive development may be classified into two broad categories. Number 1, on-the-job techniques. It is delivered to employees while they perform the regular jobs. In this way, they do not lose time while they are learning. After a plan is developed for what should be taught, employees should be informed of the details. A timetable should be established with periodic evaluation to inform employees about their progress. On-the-job techniques include orientation, job instruction training, apprenticeships, internships, and assistantships, job rotation, and coaching. Coaching. Coaching is one-to-one relationship between trainees and supervisors, which offers workers continued guidance and feedback on how well they are handling their tasks. The coach assigns the task, monitors the trainee behavior, and provides reinforcement and feedback. Coaching is commonly used for all kinds of trainees, from unskilled to managerial position. Understudy. An understudy may be assistant to someone or special assistant to some supervisory or executive positions. He learned by experience, observation, guidance, and coaching. Position rotation. This involves the movement of the trainee from one to job another. This helps him to have a general understanding of how the organization functions. Apart from releasing boredom, job rotation allows the workers to build rapport with a wide range of individuals within the organization, facilitating future cooperation among various departments. Such cross-trained personnel offer a great deal of flexible for organization when transfers, promotion, or replacement become inevitable. Multiple management. It provides knowledge about the organization to the junior and middle managerial personnel. Here, the members are exposed to all types of decision taken at a higher level of the job techniques, and it consists of lectures. It is a traditional and direct method of instruction. The instructor organizes the material and gives the group of trainees inform a talk. To be effective, the lecture must motivate and create interest among the trainees. An advantage of this method is that direct and can be used for a large group of trainees. The major limitation of this method is that it does not provide for the transfer of training effectively. Case studies. It represents the trainees with a written description of a business or organizational problem. The object of the case method is to teach the trainees how to analyze information generated alternative decision, and evaluate the alternatives. Cases can be analyzed by individuals or small groups. Feedback and reinforcement are provided through oral discussion or written comments from the instructor. Group discussion. This method is a direct discussion on a specific topic conducted with a relatively small group of trainees. This method is useful for teaching and exploring difficult conceptual materials and for changing attitudes and opinions. It provides opportunities for feedback reinforcement, practice motivation, and transfer largely due to the active interchange of ideas between the participants. Role playing. In most of role playing, assignment each of the student take the role of person affected by an issue of human life and affect the human activities all around us from the perspective of that person. Sensitivity training. It has been successfully employed by the behavioral scientists over the past 30 years. Sensitivity to the circumstances and feeling of others is the cornerstone of human relationships. It is important to note that sensitivity is not just an emotion. It must express itself in action as well, especially when people we know are experiencing pain and difficulties.
Good morning, ma'am. I'm the last reporter. I'm Angelica Mike Hagador. So, career planning. Career planning is a lifelong process which includes choosing an occupation, getting a job, growing in our job, possibly changing careers, and eventually retiring. Like a roadmap for your professional life, career planning helps you choose a career, grow in it, and eventually change to a different one and retire. To keep going until you decide it's time to stop working. It is involved determining what you want to accomplish, seeking chances and developing your talents. Building a fulfilling profession therefore requires a path of decision making, learning, and adaptation across time. Second, career planning site offers coverage of all these areas. This article will focus on career choice and processes one goes through in selecting an occupation. This may happen one in our lifetimes, but this is more likely to happen several times as we first define and then redefine ourselves and our goals. So, the career planning site addresses several topics such as importance of career choice and the procedures involved in selecting a position. Selecting a career is a big choice that we may make once more times in our lives as we develop and change our identities and aspirations. So the purpose of career development is to first is enhance each employee's current job performance. So employee can gain new skills and perform better at their current employment by investing in career development. Second, enable individuals to take advantage of future job opportunities. So to ensure that people are equipped to take on new responsibilities and difficulties and gets them ready for future employment chances. Third, fulfill agencies' goals for a dynamic and effective workforce. So career development guarantees that workers actively contribute to the success of the business. Fulfilling agencies aims for a dynamic workforce. So, manager are so manager, are responsible for linking them organization need to employees' career goals and can assist employee in the career planning process. So manager support employees in planning their career pathways by bridging the gap between what the business needs and what the employees want in a career. They are essential in coordinating the needs of organization with the goals of the person. Human resource is responsible for designing career path and employee development programs that helps employees reach their goals. Each employee is responsible for planning and managing his or her career. So human resources is a team that helps organize how employees can advance in their positions and acquire new skills to meet their professional objectives. They design strategies and initiatives to assist staff members in improving their performance. However, it is also the responsibility of each employee to consider and manage their career goals. Career planning is the combination of structured planning and the active management choice of one's own profession career. So career management is like planning and making smart choices to guide your career in a thoughtful way. It involves being careful and intentional in how you prepare for your career and the decision you make along the way. To have a good and fulfillment experience, you need to handle different aspects of your job actively and smartly. Successful career financially resource balancing work and life well and finding a personal satisfaction. In short, all these parts come together to make your career well planned and successful. So, career refers to all types of employments ranging from semi-skilled through skilled and semi-profession to professional. The term career has often been restricted to suggest an employment, commitment, and single trade skill, profession, or business firm from the entire working life of a person. Career is a wide range of job choices that includes different level of skills and responsibilities, from less skills to highly skilled, and from partly professional to fully professional in the past. A career was thought of the sticking to one job, skills or company for your working life. However, this idea has changed nowadays. Now, a career is seen as a flexible and changing path where your job might need to change in the future. The new definition of the career understands that your professional journey can adapt and evolve. And it's not just about sticking to one job forever. This reflects how work is always changing in today's job world. Moving on, there are different time horizons for achievement of the selected goals or objectives. First is short-term goals are usually specific and limited in scope. Short-term goals are easier to formulate to make sure they are achievable and relate to your longer-term career goals. So short-term goals are defined by their clarity and restricted focus and usually last 1 or 2 years when it comes to career planning. Since these goals frequently deal with the concrete, urgent aspects of professional development, they are relatively simpler to define and express. This short-term objective must nevertheless be reasonable and reachable. A smoothly messed with a person more general long-term professional terms. So second is intermediate goals. Tend to be less specific and more often ended than short-term goals. Both intermediate and long-term goals are more difficult to formulate than short-term goals because there are so many unknowns about the future compared to short-term goals. Intermediate goals which have a duration of 3 to 20 years are more uncertain and flexible. Intermediate goals are contrast to the specific and concrete nature of short time. Setting intermediate So, intermediate goals compared to a long-term goals, intermediate goals which have a duration of 3 or 20 years are more uncertain flexible. Intermediate goals are more flexible and acknowledge the inherent uncertainty surrounding the future in contrast to the specific and concrete nature of a short-term aim. Setting intermediate and long-term objective is difficult since there are a lot of undefined variables that affect the changing environment over time. This means that goal setting needs to be more flexible and deliberate. So for the third, long-term goals, more than 100 years, of course, are the most fluid of all lack of the experience, opportunity, and pitfalls make sure formulating of long-term goals. Creating goals last more than 100 years is tricky because it's hard to predict what will happen in the future. You might not have enough life experience or know everything about possible opportunities and problems. The long-term frame makes it difficult to guess how society, technology, and personal things will change. Number 4, making career choice and decision. The traditional focus of career intervention, the changed nature of work means that individuals may now have to revisit this process more frequently now and in the future more than in the past. In today's changing work world, more important than before to think about our careers. The way we work is different now, and it means we must think about what job we want more often. Jobs are changing, so we must be ready to change our career plans too. It's a regular and important part of managing our careers, showing how work nowadays is flexible and always changing. Number 5, managing the organizational career. So managing in the organization career, helping employees with their careers at work includes looking at tasks like making decisions, handling life-changing, and dealing with stress. It's about guiding them through different parts of their job journey and making a just change in their lives and manage stress. Last, managing boundaries-less careers. So boundaries careers means having the skill to work for different organizations, which is common in jobs like art and designs. People in this career needs to be flexible, gaining diverse experience and success by working with various groups instead of sticking to one employer. Self-awareness. One of the major objectives of any career development program is a heightened sense of self-awareness for participants. Employees should be able to identify their strengths and weaknesses in order to apply their skills and more effectively. Self-awareness. Workers should know what they're good and where they need to improve so they can use their skills better. It's important to them to be aware of their strengths and weaknesses, as this helps them focus on the getting better at things. Knowing the difference between real and imagined career limitation is also crucial. Career development helps employees understand their skills and opportunities honestly so they can have clear and practical view of what lies ahead in their future. Flexibility. Career development also set enhanced flexibility as a goal. Employees work in a changing world and adaptation is an essential skills. Career development helps employees become more flexible and adaptable in a changing work world. This means they may need to let go of old ways of doing things and spend time learning new things. If employees can adapt to changes at work, they might not be as productive and they may find it hard to compete with others who have more versatile skills that can be used for different types. So by focusing on flexibility, career development helps people success in today's ever-changing job environments. So education. Education is a key part of career development programs. These programs help employees or people looking for jobs by giving them info about job opportunities and ways to improve their skills. It's important to check in with these individuals later to see if the programs are helping them. This way, those in charge of career development can figure out if its programs are working well and make any needed improvements. Step 1. Self-assessment. Evaluating who you are as a person. This involves taking a professional inventory of who you are and identify your individual's values, interests, skills, and professional qualities. So self-assessment means figuring out who you are by looking at your values, interests, skills, and professional qualities. It's like taking a close look at what makes you unique and what you are good at. This process helps you identify key qualities that can guide you in finding the right career. Sometimes it's helpful to take career assessments to better understand your strengths. If you're in college, you can talk to your career services office to see if a career assessment could be useful for you. So the 3 career management process. So reality check. So the 3 career management process. So reality check. Reality. Step 2 is research. Obtain or insider perspective about the career field you are considering. Conduct informational interviews in person, phone, or by email. Professionals enjoy sharing their expertise with people interested in the field. So when you're exploring a job, it's helpful to take to people who are already working in that field. You can do this through informational interviews, either in person, over the phone, or by email. Professionals usually like sharing their knowledge with those interested in their lines of work. Connecting with alumni from your college is a good idea because they can give you insight into the field, share their experience, and offer advice about potential jobs. This way you get first-hand information and chance to ask questions about what it's really like to start career in that field. Step 3, decision making. Once you've made a true self-assessment and have done some research of career options, it's time to make a decision. This can be difficult since there may still be many unknowns and a fear of making a wrong choice. When deciding on a career, after figuring out what you like and research option, the next steps can be thought because there are still a lot we might not know and we might worry about choosing wrong. Even if we try our best to make an informed decision, there's no guarantee it be perfect. Some people find dealing with this uncertainty easier than others. It's essential to remember that you can always learn something valuable from any job, and the skill you gain can be useful in your next job. This shows that choosing a career is an ongoing process with room for growth and learning from each experience. So step 4 is search, taking action. In these steps, it's time to actively hunt for job possibilities and companies you're interested in, while also reaching out to people in your field. Your goal is to create a good impression on employees by sending well-written cover letters and resume. But remember, getting the job depends mainly on how well you do in the interviews. So make sure your cover letter and resume highlight your skills and match what the employer is looking for. Before the interviews, check out the company's website and prepare some smart questions based on what you find. So step 5 is acceptance. These steps talk about how it's normal for people to change jobs several times in their life, about 64% according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Learning the skills mentioned earlier can help you find good and satisfying work, making the process of changing job less stressful. So the key idea is to see change as a positive thing, making job changes less scary. Acceptance encourage a positive attitude towards change, highlighting a need for ongoing self-assessment, research, decision-making, and jobs searching to make successful and enjoyable career changing throughout your life. That's all. Thank you.